Hello everybody! I recently visited Crimea, all thanks to the Crimean bridge, which was built in 2018. One of my friends was directly involved in its construction. He is a builder. Hi Maxim! Now Crimea is again the territory of Russia, but it was not always so. The first people appeared on the Crimean land about 100,000 years ago. Short warm winter and long sunny summer, rich flora and fauna of the Crimea attracted hunters, fishermen, farmers. In the Crimea, in different historical periods, lived Tauri and Cimmerians, Scythians, Greeks, Sarmatians and Romans, Goths, Huns, Armenians, Bulgarians, Khazars, Slavs, Pechenegs, Cumans, Crimean Karaites, Krimchaks, the Mongols and the Crimean Tatars, Italians and Turks. In 1783, the Russian Empress Catherine II signed the Manifesto of Crimea's accession to the Russian Empire. In 1921, the autonomous Crimean Soviet Socialist Republic was formed as part of the RSFSR. In 1945, it was transformed into the Crimean region. In 1954, the Crimean region was transferred from the RSFSR to the Ukrainian SSR by Khrushchev, who was originally from Ukraine. In 1991, according to the results of the All-Crimean referendum, the Crimean region was again transformed into the Crimean SSR as part of the USSR, Ukrainian SSR. In 2014, the Crimea's accession to the Russian Federation, with the formation of two new subjects, the Republic of Crimea and the Federal City of Sevastopol, as a result of the All-Crimean referendum. After the Crimea's accession to Russia, active construction of infrastructure facilities for energy and transport began. In December 2015, the first two lines of the energy bridge connecting the Crimean energy system with the unified energy system of Russia were put into operation. In December 2016, the main gas pipeline connecting Crimea with the unified gas supply system of Russia was put into operation. And in May 2017, the construction of the federal highway Tavrida began. On 16 April 2018, a new airport terminal Simferopol was put into operation, and in May opened the famous Crimean bridge that connected the Krasnodar region with the Crimea. And so I'm here. Since ancient times, the Peninsula Crimea was called Tavrika on behalf of the ancient tribes of the Taurus. The modern name Crimea became widely used only after the 13th century, presumably by the name of the city Kirim. It's also possible that the name Crimea comes from the Perikop Isthmus. The Russian word Perikop is a translation of the Turkic word Kirim, which means moat. During the existence of the Genoese colonies of Crimea, 13th–15th centuries, because of the large number of Armenians, the peninsula in the sources of that time began to be called Maritime Armenia, Armenian Maritime, or Greater Armenia, Armenia Magna. From the 15th century, the Crimean Peninsula came to be called the Taurus, and after its accession in 1783 to Russia, Tauris. So, same was called and all northern Black Sea region. The peninsula is connected to the mainland by a narrow, up to 8 km, Perikop Isthmus. Area about 26,860 square kilometers, of which 72% plain, 20% mountains, and 8% lakes and other water bodies. The total length of land and sea borders is more than 2,500 km. Crimea, despite its relatively small territory, has a diverse climate. The average temperature in winter is about -1, in summer it's about +25, 24, 28. Sometimes it comes to +35, 38. In Crimea there are about 2,400 species of plants. 118 of them are included in the Red Book or recognized as protected. In 2014, when Crimea joined Russia, its population was distributed as follows: 65% Russian, 15% Ukrainian, and 10% Crimean Tatars, and the rest all other nationalities. The population, frightened by events in Ukraine, the Euromaidan, revolution, war with other areas, Donetsk and Lugansk, suppression by the new power of revolts in Odessa and Kharkov, this historically closest to Russia areas, strongly aspired to Russia. Too late, they didn't believe that it was possible, but fortunately the accession took place. And now the Russian Federation is developing the infrastructure of Crimea. Driving through the Crimea, I note that almost all the buildings are still Soviet times, the 60s of the last century. Generally had the impression that was back in the Soviet Union. Only clearly tourist places are more or less built up with hotels and cafes. So, the largest cities of Crimea are Sevastopol, Simferopol, Kerch, Eupatoria and Feodosia. The peninsula is washed by two seas, Black and Azov. Where I was, Golitsyn Trail. The trail was built by order of Prince Golitsyn to the arrival of Tsar Nicholas II. He visited Golitsyn's estate. There is a legend that Nicholas II, walking along the path by Golitsyn, was invited to the lunch. There he drank local champagne and then said that he sees life in a new light, Novy Svet in Russian, and called the village the New World, also Novy Svet in Russian, and the path on which he walked the path of Golitsyn, the trail of Golitsyn. Golitsyn Grotto is a large natural grotto knocked out by sea waves in the mountain Kobakaya cave. In the Middle Ages it was a Christian cave monastery. Later there was a wine cellar Golitsyn. The stone arches of the vault of Champagne, preserved to our days. Genoese fortress, a fortress in the city of Sudak in the Crimea, built by the Genoese as a stronghold for its colony in the northern Black Sea region. The fortress is located on the fortress hill, height 157 meters. By its origin, the mountain is an ancient fossilized coral reef. The area of the fortress is almost 30 hectares. Fortification complex of the fortress consists of two lines of defense: external castle cross in the Genoese sources, and internal citadel Castle Ilya. According to legend, the fortress was built in 212 by the Alans, but no archaeological evidence of this date has been found to date. In this regard, many scientists date its construction to the end of the 7th century and associate it with the Khazars or Byzantines. Some fortifications may have been built long before this, even in the 4th century. Due to its picturesque and well-preserved ancient buildings, they are often filmed historical, adventure and fairy tale films.